Mr. Zonfeld was right. Oh, hey there, Washburn. Happy Book Day. We're here in my book nook, so let's take a look at some great books in my nook. All these are great books to read, all for different reasons. Let's take a close look together. All these books are titles you probably recognize, but maybe you haven't read them. Well, I can tell you, they're all worth a read. They are all worth a read. Back here, we have some easy readers. These are books that I really enjoy. We have some books from my favorite author and of various genres. Depending on who you are and the mood you're in, each one is a good option. Hey, Mr. Schmidt, what's that over there? Great question. Thanks for asking. These are all books about things that I'm already interested in. Some of them are very specific, but that's fun for me. In this stack is poetry. Yeah, I said it. Best part about reading poetry is you can stop pretty much anywhere and feel like it's a good place to be. This little stack are all dramas, plays. Some are my favorite. Here's a stack of books. This was a gift, and this was a gift. And this one's brand new. Well, Washburn, I hoped you liked taking a look at my book nook. Sorry I couldn't whittle it down to just a couple recommendations or favorites. That's really hard for me to do, but I think you understand. I guess the good news is that even though Book Day comes about once a year, every day is a pretty good day for a book. In fact, I think I'll get started on one right now.
What up, Washburn? Hope everybody's doing well and social distancing and staying safe. I'm doing well here, spending a lot of time watching TV. I watched on Hulu Little Fires Everywhere with my sister Eliana, and it was really, really good. I've been FaceTiming with my friends every day and just trying to stay safe. I've been staying active, like playing basketball in my backyard, and I don't know, just trying to keep myself busy. Definitely trying to keep on top of my schoolwork and just giving teachers some sympathy because it's new for them too. But I hope you guys are all doing well and are all staying safe.
That's for you, Darlie. JMO.
What's going on, guys? Just wanted to let you know about a little fire YouTube channel that me and Ben did for our CAS project for the IB diploma.
It's called WHS Tech Tricks and has a variety of videos providing useful tutorials on using school technology. Some are geared specifically towards distance learning, whereas others can be used throughout your high school career.
Go check us out at WHS Tech Tricks on YouTube. Have a good day.
Hi, this is John McCreary, your librarian at Washburn, and last week was World Book Day, and so this week we're having teachers talk about their favorite books. So one of my favorite books is a children's book called Because of Winn-Dixie by a local author named Kate DiCamillo, and this is actually at the state book read right now, so you can get this ebook online for free and read it. If you have a younger brother or sister, I encourage you to read to them. Very sweet story about a little girl and her dog. Second book I want to talk about, one of my favorite books, is called Night by Elie Wiesel. And it's about Elie Wiesel. He's a man, he's still alive, and he survived the Holocaust. And it's a great story of perseverance and determination and overcoming hardship. So I recommend Night by Elie Wiesel. And the third one of my favorite books, is called A Long Way Home by Saru Brierley. It's about a little boy who gets lost on a train in India, and then his journey to find his family. And this book really inspired me personally. I read this book and then I went back to India and where I was born, and I hadn't been there for 50 years, and so it was really fun to go back, and this book really inspired me. There's a movie called Lion about this book, and it's a great story. That's it. Hope you find time to read during this distance learning time. Miss you.
Mr. McCreary. McCreary said that today is some type of book day or book week or something, and he wanted us to share 3 to 5 of our favorite books with you. So I'm going to share 3 books. I don't know why I'm talking like I'm from New Jersey. Maybe it's because I am. My first favorite book is a book called A Separate Peace by John Knowles. I don't think it's really the story that makes me think that this is one of my favorite books, but the fact that I read it in 10th grade English with Mr. Gherkin. He was a first-year teacher, and I remember us having a lot of good times in that class. And there's something about a book and when you read it and where you read it and who you read it with that can sometimes stick with you. And that's why A Separate Peace is one of my favorite books, because I really, really remember that 10th grade English class quite fondly with Mr. Gherkin. Like the pickle. My second book is called Demons by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I don't know if it's necessarily the book or the fact that sometimes I like to claim that Russian literature is a hobby of mine. It sort of is, and this was the first one I read while at Clemson in Dr. Love's class. My third book on the list is called The Great Deluge by Douglas Brinkley, and as we're going through Miss Mennett's timeline of life, also when I was in my early 20s and after I graduated from Clemson, I was able to do some disaster relief work in the Gulf Coast region following Hurricane Katrina. And this book is a story of what happened and what didn't happen following that natural disaster, and really opened my eyes to life outside of my bubble. So books also can introduce a whole new world to you. Camera work is tough without Chuck Smith there.
Hey Millers, Wednesday, May 6th is Bike Anywhere Day. So hop on your 2 wheels, get some fresh air, and make sure to social distance.
Hey Washburn, it's Miss Kelly. I'm here to share with you some of my favorite books. So first up, classic, The Blind Assassin, Margaret Atwood. One of those books within books, parallel storytelling. It's great. If you are having trouble focusing and you're like, I want to read, but not that much, The View from the Seventh Layer. One of my favorite short story collections. Super creative. If you want to read and also love comics, this is an instant classic. House of X, Powers of X, oh my gosh, just came out. This whole new world for all of the mutants. My favorite thing is monsters. Look at all of that beautiful crosshatch technique. The main character is obsessed with like horror, and so the different chapters are different like horror magazine covers. But super cool. Yeah, it's fatty, but it's brilliant. Like, you want to know exactly the things that make up a sucker MC. There are really helpful flowcharts and diagrams, and this is, of course, The Rap Yearbook by Shea Serrano. Awesome. Great choice. Those are some of my favorites. I would say, though, that you got to treat yourself right now, so maybe what you need is a comfort read, so I'm just going to recommend 2 classics for you. You could go with The Giver, you could go with Harry Potter. Both help you feel good, and keep us going.
Hi Millers, Profe Leary here with Britta. Say hi.
Hi.
I'm going to talk about my book recommendations. It was really hard to just pick a few, but the ones I chose are The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's so funny. I also picked All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and finally Wild by Cheryl Strayed. Those are some of my faves. Obviously there are many more, but yeah, recommend those. I hope everyone is staying healthy and safe. Adios, miss everyone. Bye.
Hey Millers, this is Mr. Morzenti here, joining the weekly webcast with some of my favorite books. Starting out, number 1, this is Black Profiles in Courage by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What I like about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, here he is there on the back of the book, he's a true athlete scholar. Reminds me of the Millers. We're not only on top on the athletic field, but we're also on top with arts and academics as well. Go Millers, go Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The second book I'd like to highlight today here, this is H.W. Jansen's History of Art. Speaking of excellence in the arts, this book's a little bit Eurocentric, but there's some really great art in that book.
Hey everyone, hi, I'm Mr. Grohl, and I teach engineering and robotics, and here are a few of my favorite books. First one is Dune. I read this first when I was 15. There's a new version of the movie coming out if you're interested. The reason I like this was one memory I have from when I was reading it for the first time. The setting, as you can tell, is on in a desert. It's very dry. All the society, culture, everything is revolves around conserving water. And I was sitting reading this by a lake, and I was really into it. Here's a newer favorite, kind of a mix of, it's not so much a book as a set of essays. I would call it more nonfiction. I had never heard about this guy before, but he writes about sports in a way that I find interesting. I'm definitely not a jock, and he was writing about contemporary sports, strategies on and off the field, how sports is a business and things like that, and I found it really interesting. Terry Pratchett is kind of witty. He's, if you like humor, irreverent humor like Rick and Morty or Douglas Adams like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I think you'll love Terry Pratchett.
Hey guys, Miss V here. We were asked to share some of our favorite books, so I thought I would share with you a few of my favorites. I'm an avid reader, so I have a ton, but these are some of the top of my list. First is Ernest Hemingway, For Whom the Bell Tolls. This story takes place during the Spanish Civil War, and it is just an incredible story. But it is also has some of the most beautiful written imagery I've ever read in my life, and probably one of the most beautifully written scenes I've ever read in my life. So I highly recommend that one. Fantasy novels about magic, things like that, I highly recommend. Patrick Rothfuss, The Name of the Wind. Another fantastic book is Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This book is just a beautiful love story and just a sweeping story of family and relationships, and it's just really gorgeous. Another one of my favorites, this is someone I read a lot in high school and college, Tom Robbins. My favorite by him is Jitterbug Perfume. And that's it for me. I hope that you are having fun at home and doing some reading, and we hope to see you soon.
Hello students, this is Miss Woods and I am sharing my favorite books. The first book I'd like to share is Winter Tales by Isak Dinesen. This is a book of different stories, and they are magical, and they change every time you read them because there's so many layers of things in the books and in the stories, and so it's one of my favorite books to read. Another favorite is Paula by Isabel Allende. And this is an autobiography of Isabel Allende, and she's telling it to her daughter, who is in a coma in the hospital. And I'm not giving anything away because it's in the back of the book. So that's a very, very excellent book. And my third favorite book is A Hive of Souls by James Hazard. James Hazard's my father, and he wrote poetry. And in this book, there's many good poems, but my favorite one is called I Saw You, Dylan Ann, and it's about when I was born. So I can't wait to hear about your favorite books.
Hey Washburn, next Wednesday, May 6th, is Bike Anywhere Day. So get on your two wheels and get outside.
Hi seniors, my name is Naomi. My friend Eliana and I really wanted to create a space to celebrate our class and our plans for after graduation, so we created the Instagram with the handle @Washburn Class of 2020.
Chuck Smith wants to know, what is Wednesday, May 6th? Well, it's Bike to Anywhere Day. Get on your two wheels and bike anywhere on Wednesday, May 6th.